Good morning and welcome to Business Focus, your trusted window into the world of business, finance, and the economy, bringing you fresh opportunities, new market expectations, and key economic events that could shape investment decisions in Nigeria. We track developments in the financial markets, monitor movement, and examine the major policy decisions and business stories driving the economy. I am Fari Josephine, and this is Politics and Business TV Abuja. And to the focus of the day, Almajiri Commission, National Assembly inserted road project into our budget. The National Commission for Almajiri and Out-of-School Children Education has sparked fresh debate over Nigeria's budget process after revealing that road construction projects were inserted into its budget by the National Assembly without the agency's knowledge or approval. The commission, which was established by the federal government to tackle the growing number of Almajiri and out-of-school children, says its primary responsibility is to improve access to education, provide vocational and skills training, rehabilitate vulnerable children, and work with state governments and development partners to reduce the out-of-school population. However, during a budget defense session before lawmakers, the executive secretary of the commission disclosed that several road projects appeared in the commission's budget, despite the fact that the agency neither proposed nor requested them. According to the Commission, road construction is not part of its statutory mandate, raising concern that funds intended for education and child development could be diverted to projects outside its core responsibilities. The disclosure has once again brought the issue of budget insertions, commonly referred to as budget padding, into the national spotlight. Over the years, several government agencies have raised similar concerns, alleging that projects unrelated to their mandate were added to their budgets during the appropriation processes. The controversy also highlights broader concerns about transparency, accountability, and fiscal discipline. Experts argued that when agencies are required to implement projects outside their legal responsibilities, it becomes more difficult to measure performance, monitor spending, and achieve intended policy outcomes. For many observers, the timing is significant. Nigeria continues to face an education crisis with millions of children still out of school, particularly in northern states where the Almajiri system is prevalent. The commission was created to help address this challenge by expanding educational opportunities and supporting vulnerable children. However, stakeholders want that the agency's ability to fulfill its mandate could be weakened. They also argued that such practices undermine public confidence in the budgeting process and raise concerns about whether taxpayers' money is being allocated in line with national priorities as the controversy unfolds. Nigerians will be watching closely to see whether the National Assembly responds to the Commission's allegations and whether measures will be introduced to strengthen transparency and ensure that public funds are spent strictly for the purposes approved by law. And that will be it for the insight. But before we go into what is happening in the equity market, let's take a quick break. Stay with us.
Tired of the slow? Tired of the bad?
Thank you for staying with us. It is still the program Business Focus on Politics and Business TV. And now to the equity market. The Nigerian all-share index stands at 242,459.9. Market sentiment remains strongly bullish, driven by aggressive buying in blue chip and large cap stocks. The rally was further supported by the central bank's decision to leave the monetary policy rate unchanged at 26.50%, boosting confidence among domestic and institutional investors. And two of the top gainers leading the charts this morning is Airtel Africa PLC, which advanced by plus 10%. Transnational White Express PLC also recorded the maximum daily gain of plus 10%, while Zichi's Agrolimit Allied Industry PLC appreciated by plus 9.69%, plus 9.48%, and John Holt PLC, which rose plus 9.45%. As sustained buying interest helped lift the Nigerian equity market to another record high. And on the losers charts, May and Baker Nigeria PLC, University Press PLC, and Cornerstone Insurance PLC each recorded the maximum daily decline of minus 10%. Sunu Assurance Nigeria PLC followed with a loss of minus 9.91%, while Eco Bank Transnational Incorporated ETI shared minus 9.90%, as sustained profit taking across selected equities weighed on trading at the close of the Nigerian exchange. And on the commodity market, a 50-kilogram bag of locally produced rice is selling for between 57 and 62,000 naira, while imported rice is retailing for 70 to 85,000 naira. A 50-kilogram bag of beans is currently selling for 69,000 to 95,000 naira. A 25-liter container of vegetable oil is priced between 80 and 95,000 naira, while palm oil is selling for 60 to 70,000 naira for the same quantity. And in the downstream energy market, petrol is retailing for 1,210 to 1,350 naira to a liter. Diesel is selling for 1,500 to 1,600 to a liter, while kerosene is priced between 1,050 and 1,150 to a liter. Meanwhile, cooking gas is retailing for 1,005 to 1,007 per kilogram, depending on location and supplies. And to the currency market, at the official Nigerian foreign exchange market, the naira exchanged at approximately 1,375 naira 0.83 kobo to $1. Meanwhile, in the parallel market, the naira traded at about 1,405 to the dollar for buying and 1,415 for selling. Exchange rates in the parallel market may vary slightly depending on location, dealer, and the transaction size. And that will be it for the equity market this morning. And now we go on a short break. And when we return, we delve into the conversation of the day with our guest, I beg your pardon, joining us via Zoom. Please stay with us. Welcome back from that short break. It is still the program Business Focus, and it's still on a Politics and Business TV. Now, this is that segment where we go into the conversation of the day. I have seated already to be my guest joining me via Zoom, the person of Alhaji Yakubu Aliyu, who is the coordinator of the 17 Southern States of our Rebuild Arewa Initiative for Development. Good morning, Alhaji Yakubu, and thank you for joining us on the program this morning.
Good morning, and what a you for having me.
Thank you so much. And now we go straight into the conversation for the day. Almajiri Commission, they came during last week. We saw it on the news that they are inserted in their budget road construction. What do you think make What do you make of the National Commission's claims that the National Assembly inserted road project into its budget without its approval? What do you make of it?
Well, once again, good morning, viewers. It's really unfortunate that an establishment that was established to remove the Almajiri from streets by uh, giving them, desire education such as technical skills and what have you. But unfortunately, the commission was alleging that billions of naira was inserted or was padded into their budget for construction of roads, not even in the northern Nigeria, but in the southwest. It's quite unfortunate and it's totally unacceptable.
All right. How common is this practice of budget insertion in Nigeria, and what does it say about the country's budgeting process?
Well, as a matter of fact, I think we there's disconnection between the stakeholders, the Nigerian populace, and that of the budget office, as well as the National Assembly. We, the Nigerians, are doing all a duty bound by making sure that we are connected to the budget office and that of the National Assembly so that we can be able to scrutinize the budget before assenting, before Mr. President assents his signature. But the fact is that sometimes I think I will advise that, like, ordinarily there should be what we call a public share a hearing before any budget is to be passed in Nigeria so that we can be able to avoid this issue of budget padding, because it becomes like a usual practice for each and every Nigerian budget. There must be this allegation of budget padding, inserting of some billions of naira from one various ministry and MDA. So it's really unfortunate, and that has to be looked into, and to them who decides.
All right. Let's talk about the Almajiri Commission for a bit. Just as the name implies, it is made to handle issues of the Almajiris and the out-of-school children. Over the years, I'm just a little bit concerned. Have there been anything? What has it been like? Have there been any progress? Have we seen their activities doing some of these things as in line to why it is created in the first place, like creating of schools and vocations? Are there projects like that ongoing?
Well, let me first and foremost give kudos and also thank the former president, Goodluck, that he can, eradicate this streets Almajiri begging as well as those out of school children. But since the establishment of Almajiri school, I think I can tell you in categorical terms that it's more politicized than the main purpose that the school was being established. So it is actually more politicized. I think the implementation and also the made political and also political statement on the politicians.
All right. I asked that question because in Nigeria right now, with the things that are happening, it's as if we're thinking for some of our lawmakers, because some of the things happen and you just wonder, why is this thing happening in a way it is? It's just like we have our Mr. President saying during his inaugural speech 23 years ago, he said in 6 months he's going to give us electricity. And up to now, we are not having electricity. But we woke up one day to see that the villa is being powered by solar. So someone was saying maybe the president was trying to say that he's going to power the villa and not Nigeria as a whole. So I asked because maybe the assembly, the National Assembly, felt the commission is not doing what it is supposed to do as a body. Maybe when the funds are being given to them, when those budgets have been approved and being given to the agency, they are not discharging their duties as much as they should. And that is why maybe the National Assembly decided to include road construction is quite funny. Sorry, I'm laughing, but it's quite funny. It's quite funny. So I'm just thinking though, do you think it's okay for us to think like that?
No, not absolutely, because
Okay.
if the National Assembly have that perception, meaning they are also guilty of the crime, because it is the duty of the National Assembly to have oversight. They
Of
have the
course.
constitutional mandate to summon each and every director general, the executive secretary, minister, and every government appointee that was, allocated a funds for, a particular purpose, to call and find out what did you do, how did you do that. Was why we call oversight function. So
Yes.
they can even go to the various states and monitor the activities of those institutions. They have the constitutional mandate. So if they inserted such amount of money for construction duty to
Alhaji Yakubu, I don't know if you are with us, sir. If you, can you still hear me? Oh no.
make sure that those
We are experiencing a little bit of a network issue right there. I don't know if you're still with me, Alhaji Yakubu.
yes, I'm with you.
All right, please go
Can you
ahead.
hear
At
me
some
now?
point, yes, I can hear you now. At some point, we lost our communication, but go on now. I can hear you.
Yes, yes. Okay. Like as I was making a remark that
Yes.
if the National Assembly said that because the institution that was allocated for a funds to carry out a mandate, and they failed to do so, because of that they inserted some portions of money for the construction of whatever they want to call it. I think it's also up to them, because it is a responsibility for the National Assembly to go to an oversight and checkmate each and every head of government agencies such as ministry and MDS.
All right. Let's talk about the constitutional right now. Does the National Assembly have the constitutional authority to insert a project into an agency's budget, especially projects outside that agency's statutory mandate?
Well, like the executive secretary in its defense, and I believe, I don't want to preempt, but
Mm.
I don't know what interest does he have, but he's trying to defend the insertion of that kind of portions of money for road construction that is part of the National Assembly constitutional rights to insert their constituency projects for each and every agency. But I think, to me, I disagree with him, because they have their own way of executing their project. And of course, why then the road project is under Ministry of Works. So if they are inserting a constituency project that has to do with road construction, the money will have been allocated to the Ministry of Works, not Almajiri School Commission.
Maybe the road construction was just added there, so just to give the commission extra workload. All right, my next question will be,
Maybe we call it panic. I think to me it's a panic.
all right, yes, of course, it sounds like that. Where should the line be drawn between the National Assembly's and powers to amend the budget and the executive roles in the preparing them?
Please come up. I cannot hear you clearly. Repeat your question,
Should I
please.
come again? Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you clearly.
All right, I ask, where should the line be drawn between the National Assembly's power to amend budgets and the executive roles in preparing them?
And the truth of the matter is that in the Nigerian Constitution, the National Assembly is empowered to amend, and also to they can, at least they can as well abrogate. So they have every constitutional right to amend whatever clause as far as the Nigerian Constitution is concerned that is not in line with the public, interest or to their own interest. Because in this case, I can actually, ascribe that it's not the interest of the public, but it's the interest of the National Assembly. But as for the constitutional right, the National Assembly has the constitutional right to make an amendment in each and every law that, as far as Nigerian Constitution is concerned, they are empowered to do so.
So, what do you think will be in play now? What should we expect with all of these things? Is at the National Assembly, are they going to? Of course, the budget have been passed already, I believe. Yes, it have been passed. Now, are they going to withdraw it to go and maybe kind of sit over it again, or so that the road construction project will be given to the appropriate body that is supposed to be in charge of that project? What do you think will be the outcome of this? What should we expect?
I doubt, because this is document that was been very rated, and it's been assented by Mr. President as well as they are rated. And also, what I want you to understand is that you cannot look at this as unintentional. It is a deliberate. So someone who does things deliberate, you don't expect a correction from such an individual. So it is a deliberate act. They know what they do there, and they are the only people that can give such a statement in that regard. But of course, it is a deliberate.
Okay, so the secretary of the Almajiri Commission came to say that they weren't even aware of the fact that the project was included in their budget. I don't know. Can you please throw more light on it? Yes.
Well, we will ask the executive secretary to Almajiri School, because each and every budget that is being passed, each and every agency, you have to go and defend your budget.
Yes,
So
of course.
there is the moment for a defense when the budget is being passed, when the money is being appropriated to his agency. That is the question that you people have to call him as a journalist, ask him if he did not go for a defense. If you are going for a budget defense, then you should tell us, okay, the allocation that I defend is 12, 18 or 12 or 10 billion. This 8 billion or whatever we call it, I'm not aware about it. Then you should come out here and enumerate it. That was then how all the National Assembly are responsible. But if you cannot do that, I think it's also a syndicate.
Of course, because it's not adding up the fact that an organization like that is supposed to defend its budget. But right now he's coming to say that he isn't even aware, the agency isn't aware that that budget, a huge sum of money, 8.4 billion naira. We're not just talking about an amount that you can just ignore. It's an amount that, of course, will meet your eye. And he said he don't know. Well, should every budget amendment by lawmakers be accompanied by public explanation and justification? Do you think that will be like a solution to help curb some of these issues we're having?
Almajiri Commission comes out to say it's not aware about such and such a huge amount of money in his agency, and he went for a budget defense. I think he's not capable to be, to head that, Almajiri School Commission and out of children, because meaning is not there, and if they are not there, meaning you cannot defend the interests of what we have been, entrusted to defend. So if you cannot be able to make a further clarification as regards to how this money is being inserted in his agency, is actually unfortunate, and he has a question to answer.
So do you think this is a legislative oversight?
Well, that's what they will call it, but it's unfortunate, honestly, like as I said earlier.
Yes.
The general public or the Nigerian people should rise up and find out what actually went wrong there, because if this money is being allocated to Federal Ministry of Works, there is nobody who will ask questions, because it is the constitutional mandate of the Ministry of Works to construct roads, construct bridges, and what have you. But for the Almajiri Almajiri School Commission, everybody knows that it has a mandate, and that mandate is making sure that we eradicate Almajiri from the street and also minimize out of school children. Key objective of and
All right. So have the legislative and the National Assembly, have they given their reasons as to why they added the budget, the road construction, to the agency's budget, or they're trying to justify the fact that they feel this agency should be in, because they are two opposite activities. This body here, we're talking about an agency that is in charge of out of school children and the Almajiris, and then we have on the other side the National Assembly trying to bring road construction. Two opposite, in fact, they are not supposed to meet at any point in time, but we see this now. So do you think they're trying to, will they justify, because I don't think I've seen anything, any report from them yet trying to defend this, apart from the secretaries coming, the commission secretary coming to talk about it. Do you think they are going to come, and should we expect them to defend it, or do we expect them to give us their reasons as to why? And plus, this road construction we're even talking about, it's not even in the north that benefits more from the Almajiri commission. It's in an entire different place in the country. So I don't know. What do you think will happen at this point?
Well, for now, like you said, the National Assembly didn't come out to issue any statement. It's either to disclaim or to justify their reasons of inserting that huge amount of money for construction of roads in an Almajiri School Commission. But I think will have been more justifiable if this money is meant for buying a wheelchair and so on and so forth.
Yes.
Mm.
So for now, we should just keep our fingers crossed and expect to hear from the agents, from the National Assembly, because of course they should give us reason as to why. You know, just as I mentioned earlier, a lot of things is happening in Nigeria right now. A lot of things are happening that when you see them, you just want to help think for the people involved. You just want to start imagining things. Why is it happening like this? Right. So at this point, I would say our fingers are crossed. Am I right?
Yeah, you are, but it's unfortunate that things that is impossible is very much possible in Nigeria.
What cannot happen in Nigeria is not possible. Yes, it happens here. Unfortunately, we are full of surprises. All right. So will this money now, because I am so worried about this, is a huge amount of money we're talking about, 8.4 billion naira.
It is 8.4 billion.
Yes, 0.4.
Of course. It is.
So
very big amount of money.
Yes, it is. So are we going to see them?
That amount of money, if you injected that amount of money in the health sector, it will turn around some of the health sector or any health sector facilities we have in Nigeria.
Very well.
Buy medical equipment of 8.7 billion as government, it will help, and it will help those that are in need of education.
Yes.
Very well. It will go a long way.
And even if this money, let's say they are putting it even into the road construction, but doing it in the right, through the right channel. Let's just assume these monies are given to the right people and for this same purpose, road construction. It is a good thing. It is a good thing. But the fact that
there's no problem about it.
Yes.
That is why from my earlier remarks, I said if this money is being allocated to Federal Ministry of Works, nobody there's any observation,
yes,
any question as regards to why this money is being allocated to. But for you allocating 8.7 billion for road construction into an Almajiri School Commission and out of school children, it calls for questioning and it calls for suspicious.
So let me just create a scenario here, because in as much as I'm not seeing the possibility of this happening, but this is Nigeria again. We don't want to limit our thought at this point because anything can happen. So, for instance, now, if an agency, yes, if an agency is asked to implement the project outside its mandates now, just as the Almajiri Commission is asked to implement this road construction, which is totally outside its mandate, Who should be held accountable for the outcome? The agency or the lawmakers who inserted the project? Space trying to do their job for them. Aren't they supposed to be worried? Why are you wanting another person to do our jobs for us? Are you with me?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, I'm with you. Why the Ministry of Works cannot go and question.
Alhaji, I don't know if you are with me. If you...
National Almajiri School Commission.
All right,
Can
so
you hear me?
yes, we lost communication for a minute there. So I don't know if can you come again? Can you take it all over so we'll have a good communication, please?
Yes. I can start it all over.
All right, thank
What
you.
I'm saying is that the Ministry of Works cannot question the legitimacy or the legality of this allocated funds to the National Almajiri School Commission and out of school children, because the National Almajiri School Commission are not body assembly and that of National Almajiri School and out of school children. So, but the Ministry of Works will be watching that it is among the both compare about. I think that is what will be the perception of the Ministry of Works for now.
Oh, okay. But I just felt maybe they will feel someone is doing their job and that money is supposed to be given to them, or maybe I feel that should be a concern to them. But that is their point should be valid if they are going to see it from your angle too.
Well, they don't have to do so because like as I said, the national it has a lot of consequences. In the first place, budget and certain likely be diverted to some few individuals, and it called for concern for every Nigerians to rise up against this budget and certain.
Okay. Now let's talk about the out of school children. This is like a menace that is ravaging our society right now, especially the northern parts of the country. Nigeria is said to be the country with the largest population of the out of school children. Do you think the diverting of resources from this commission undermines the effort to address the education crisis we are experiencing as a nation?
Of course, absolutely.
Okay.
You can imagine injecting 8.17 billion into this commission to carry out its function by training the Almajiris for technical skills, improving the school infrastructures, as well as making sure that those out of school children, because of school fees that they cannot be able to afford, it will go a long way in making sure that our children goes to government or primary and secondary school free. With 8.17 billion, it will go a long way. If you invested this amount of money, it will go a long way in making sure that those type of school children have to return to school, and as well, those are might that need to be trained.
Yes.
The association will also have some training and as well get some, equipment to establish life of their own to start and stop, rolling on the street.
All right. So what message does this send about the government's priorities when funds meant for vulnerable children are allegedly redirected to... I'm laughing because I used the word allegedly there. Sorry. Are redirected to infrastructure projects?
Well, the message that is that the people that have the constitutional mandate of allocating these funds should know that those out of school children are Nigerians.
Yes.
As well as they need a better life. And if you should tamper with any resources, I think it should not be a resources that is meant for National Almajiri Commission and out of school children, because that institution is too important. It's like somebody touching money meant for, what do you call it? This homeless people, or maybe make money meant for those that were affected by national disaster. Those people that need this money more than any other. That institution needs this money more than any other Nigerians, more than me and you, because we were able to graduate in schools. Our children are also have been privileged to go to private school, not even government institution.
Yes.
And we are also working with two of our legs, with two of our hands, and two of our eyes open. But those are less privileged who are physically challenged, as well as those poor children that cannot be able to even pay a common school or a government primary school. And touching such amount of money, my sister, I think it's not friendly, it's uncalled for, it is unfair, it's in fact, it's completely wickedness.
Of course it is. I will agree with you entirely myself. So what do you think? Should agencies be given the power to reject or challenge projects inserted into their budget if they fall outside their legal responsibilities?
Well, they should, but the question you will ask yourself as a journalist,
yes,
who will empower them to do so? It is the National Assembly.
Of course.
Nobody has monopoly, nobody has constitutional rights to amend the Nigerian Constitution apart from the National Assembly. And the National Assembly are the same people that are inserting these portions amount of money to an agency that are not supposed to.
So that would be a death on arrival case.
For them to empower some agency to challenge their decision. How possible it is? Because this is a decision by the National Assembly. And can the same agency give such power to another agency to challenge their decision? I'm sure the answer is no.
So as it is right now, we should just expect more of these, or even if not more, with the way it's happening, we should just expect that there wouldn't be solution to things like this anytime soon.
Well, the only solution is that if you have a radical executive secretary like I am sitting down here with you, I will challenge them in the court.
Oh wow!
In the court of law and challenge their decision.
All right. So I will. I don't know if it's pray or I should start putting in word for you so that you now be in a position where, because we need to challenge some of these things. Truly, we need people in powers that can challenge some of this. Yes.
Honestly speaking, if I am the executive secretary and of course I am innocent of such, I'll go to the court and challenge it, because every establishment have what do you call it? They have laid down procedures.
Yes.
The constitution that establish the commission have laid down procedures, and the laid down procedures of National Almajiri School Commission and Out of School Children does not include construction.
Two opposite things that they are not supposed to be discussed in the same table, probably. Well,
I will challenge the decision in the court, and I will ask what this money for. The money, and I will claim the money. I won't even dispute the money. I'll claim it, but I'll go to the court and challenge that money and say that money should be converted for
your own use. I love the fact that you said you claim the money. Because that would be wisdom, yes.
The money to make sure that the money is being utilized by what that Almajiri school.
Yes, what it's supposed to do. I love that. That is beautiful.
Which will be a plus to the commission.
It will be, definitely. I think we should sell this idea to the executive, allocated based on national priorities, right?
We voted them to go there and represent our interests, not to represent their own self-interest. So they should fear God and do the needful and be an honor, because they call the house, the lower chamber was called as Honorable House of Representatives, while the upper chamber was called Distinguished. These are the two English, Honorable and Distinguished. So they should be able to know that they should act as honorable as well as distinguished as the Constitution called them for, not to be dishonorable or distinguished. That is my message today.
All right, thank you so much. They should be honorable and distinguished as they have been referred to. Thank you so much, Alhaji Yakubu Aliyu. coordinator of the 17 Southern States Rebuild Arewa Initiative for Development. Thank you so much for coming on the program this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, do have yourself a lovely day, sir.
Not absolutely.
I wish you would though. You should try to. All right. All right. Thank you.